Can we have all of your attention? Before we start this, we would like everybody, including the honoree, to put away his cell phone. Each year, the Federation presents the Robert Sinton Distinguished Leadership Award to an extraordinary Bay Area leader who has gone above and beyond to support the community in the outstanding mold of Robert Sinton of blessed memory. This year's Sinton Award recipient could not be a better choice. Jim Koshland is a formidable macher, a serial Jewish board member, a do-gooder who has done great for our Jewish community. Ask any peer or person who has ever worked with Jim. He is a true change agent, inspiring, compassionate, dedicated to his philanthropic work. Oh, and anyone who knows him will know that he prefers playing Scrabble on his phone instead of listening to a speech about himself. The list of Jim's contributions read like the Book of Talmud. With our Federation alone, he served as board chair, for a longer period than he initially expected, chair of our Centennial Committee, and member of our Endowment Committee, among other jobs. Outside the Federation, Jim has been an effective lay leader to the Talby Correct Campus for Jewish Life, American Jewish Joint Distribution Committee, American Jewish World Service, Jewish Senior Living Group, Jewish Vocational Services, UC Berkeley Foundation, Reboot, the Opportunity Fund, and the Editable Schoolyard. What is more, Jim has shown a tremendous leadership in the field of education, from early childhood through college. Go Bears! His family, from his wife Kathy to his kids, Sarah, Maggie, and Jacob, to his 5 grandkids, are everything to him. And yes, his cousins too. This love is only shared by his love for sports, from Australian rules football to Premier League soccer to golf, especially golf. Jim is also a Cal Bears fan through and through, and he is a devotee of Levi's jeans, and only Levi's jeans. And then there is his love of the cell phone. Yes, he loves his cell phone and is deeply addicted to the Scrabble-inspired game Words with Friends. And in the spirit of Words with Friends, here are some words from friends. Jim is a humanitarian. Jim doesn't have to do what he does. He could skate through life, traveling the world, kicking back, watching sports, enjoying the best steaks and martinis, living through his children and grandchildren. Oh wait, he does that already. So how does he find time to serve on the boards of dozens of organizations? How does he have time to mentor young professionals and lay leaders and discover new innovative ways of healing our world? Modest. He doesn't think you need to know what he does. When you meet him, you meet one of the greatest people around, a person who has presided over prestigious organizations, helped guide companies through the beginnings of Silicon Valley's world takeover. Jim modestly changes the world in big ways. He was raised by a father who taught him about modesty and responsibility. He is like no other. Silly. In the words of his granddaughter Corinne, age 4, he is the silly grandpa, also known as Boppy. He has no qualms about making those around him laugh and laughing with him. He loves to tease and jab, and the best part is he's immensely teasable. Wise. Don't be fooled when talking to a man who is clearly playing with an app-driven game while you're trying to impart some important message. Jim is listening. In fact, while sometimes as quiet as George Harrison, the Beatle, Jim is always listening, preparing a thought, awaiting his moment to cut through the noise with an idea that is succinct, powerful, and visionary. Competitive. Let's face it, anyone who plays Words with Friends with Jim knows he's the most competitive player in history. While engaged in an intense conversation, he is also crushing his opponent with more 7-letter words than anyone in history. Maybe we should add the word cheater to this insight. He will never set you up for a possible triple word score. He is competitive about everything, including a leisurely hike. He has to come first, and he's so good at so many things, except maybe not so good at pronouncing people's names. There isn't a name he can't butcher. Pleasant. Pleasant is a word that sounds, well, it sounds pleasant, as tea parties are pleasant. But the fact is that Jim is one of the most pleasant people to be around. If you're lucky enough to enjoy a cup of coffee with Jim or a drink, you are in for a righteously pleasant time that cannot be found with anyone else. He is a mighty conversationalist, has a subtle but brilliant sense of humor, and is an empathetic listener. And he has an infectious grin that brings on a good time. A friend. Jim is a true, loyal, and thoughtful friend, and his friendship extends from his family to his friends to all the communities he participates in. There's no better friend in the world. Jim is truly one in a million. Humble, driven, fun-loving, strategic, and a phenomenal leader, and he makes it look easy. Mazel tov, Jim. We love you.